I think we're confident because the phase one in EU was very similar to the concerns they had, like CMA had here in the UK. But we've got provisionally approved now here in the UK. We've got EC in the European Commission in phase two. We're confident we can work with them for them to understand that the combination strengthens competition. This industry is hyper competitive. There are a number of deep-pocketed players coming into the sector, like Starlink and Amazon, and a number of LEO low Earth orbit mega constellations being planned. So competition is intense, and we hope that we can work with them for them to understand the evolving nature of the competition in our industry. And then we have the FCC that's also reviewing our proposal in the US. So we expect that soon we should be able to get approval unconditionally in the next couple of months.
You talk about some of those deep-pocketed competition coming in with the likes of Starlink, obviously Amazon getting big in that space, but then Chinese competitors too, which in some cases or many cases are actually backed by the state. How can you compete with players that, in the case of some of these Chinese new entrants into the market, are less concerned about the economic finances than with just sheer growth at this point?
You're right. Some of the low Earth mega constellations are being planned with long-term profit in mind, not necessarily short to medium-term profit. And so they're not constrained by that. They're investing a lot more than many players in the industry. Number one, I think the industry will go through consolidation. There are too many players. There are about more than 50 players in this industry. Just probably 50 too many if you look at what will happen in the next few years. We are well positioned, but I think this is the reason we've planned to merge with Viasat, because I think together we'll have scope and scale to be able to compete for the long term. And we don't really compete with Viasat very much. It's a very complementary transaction. We've said that this will be a $4.1 billion revenue company, and free cash flow will be 2 times that of what Viasat would do standalone. We see strong $1.5 billion NPV synergies. We see that the satellite roadmap can come together in a complementary way. We can provide redundancy of satellite connectivity for our customers. So this is good for customers. It will strengthen competition. It's I think, good for us. And of course, it helps very much that Inmarsat has this strong momentum. But no question, there is a lot of competition, and there are deep-pocketed players. Yes, to China, a couple of LEO mega constellations from there. We've talked about Starlink, Amazon. The EU is planning its own mega constellation, and there are a few other new low Earth orbit players, either backed by government or by sort of strong money. OneWeb is an example of that as well. But consolidation is going to happen. We were the first off the mark, and you've seen Eutelsat OneWeb is also going through its own transaction, and there'll be others.